Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Proceed, please.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Proceed.
Order number 3, messages.
Proceed.
Order number 4, petitions.
Proceed.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable members, under this order we have one business by the Honorable Committee Minority Leader. Honorable Ikusia, Honorable Anastasia, do you have information? Are you holding brief for Honorable Committee? You're not aware of any? Titus Kaloki, are you Deputy Minority Leader or? You are?
No, I'm the Deputy Whip.
Oh, you are the Deputy
Speaker,
Whip.
yes.
You can still do the work of the Honorable Minority Leader.
Okay, Madam Speaker, yeah. Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Ikusia Kaloki, the Deputy Minority Whip. I'm standing in for Honorable Kamitu, the Minority Leader of this House. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, the 19th February 2020. The Governor's address to the Assembly delivered on the 18th February 2020. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ikusia. Let's see the paper. Let's see. Let's look at. Give it to the table clerk. We look at it. Okay. Yes, the paper is laid before on the table of the House. Next, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Under this order, we have again Honorable Kamitu. I presume that Honorable Ikusia, you continue to hold a brief. It's a notice of motion on the same paper that you have laid. Let the table officers provide the necessary document for you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Only that what I have on my docket.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Ikusia, just sit on the seat next to you.
Madam Speaker, is Honorable Kisila properly dressed?
I didn't even saw him. Was he here? Honorable Maida, you should have told me when he entered. Was Honorable Kisila here?
Yes, he was just seated there, Madam Speaker. He has run away from the assembly.
Did he bow when he was running away? Yes. Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed then.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ikusia, sorry, I was just asking about that notice of motion. I see also it's not signed. I have a set on my docket, and the table clerk also don't have a signed one. What you can do, if you can reach the Honorable Minority Leader, I will give him the indulgence. If we can come before we finish the business, I can call his business at that point. But tell him that he's not going to enjoy that latitude on another day. Yeah. So have a seat. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, under this order we have two statements. The first one by Honorable Jeremiah and the second one by Honorable Betty. Honorable Jeremiah. Honorable Kisila, it was said that you were here, but I didn't see you and you were not. Were you here undressed? What were you? What were you?
I was not just having my jacket.
You were half dressed.
Maybe according to the member.
What about according to the rules of the house? You were half dressed.
Okay, Madam.
Don't come again half dressed to the assembly. Honorable Jeremiah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Jeremiah Munguti, MCM, the Dene Ward. Madam Speaker, Article 43, Subarticle 1C of the Constitution of Kenya states that every person has the right to be free from hunger and to have adequate food of acceptable quality. On distribution of functions between the national government and the county governments, Part 2, Paragraph 1 of the 4th schedule of the Constitution bestowed on the county government functions and powers in agriculture, including crop and animal husbandry, livestock sale yards, county abattoirs, plant and animal disease control, and fisheries. Based on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development under goal number 2, which is zero hunger, all governments have a responsibility to put in place appropriate interventions to counter hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Madam Speaker, and the Big Four agenda of the national government, food security is the first item that is identified as key among projected achievements by both the national and the county governments. In 2019, the Food and Agricultural Organization warned of a looming outbreak of desert locusts in the Horn of Africa. According to the organization, it was predicted that the locusts were likely to invade Kenya by the end of the year. By the end of December 2019 and into January 2020, the desert locusts had descended on the counties of Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Moyale, and Marsabit. Isiolo, Samburu, Meru, Laikipia, Kirinyaga, Baringo, Kitui, Turkana, Embu, Murang'a, and Machakos. According to experts, this was predicted to be worst locust invasion in the country in 70 years. Honorable Speaker, in view of the above, I wish to seek a statement from the county executive on what the Department of Agriculture has done to counter the locust invasion so far. Number 2, if the county executive committee members for finance are set and reserved emergency funds in the event of further invasion in the county. Number 3, what measures the county executive has taken to ensure prompt surveillance of the locust threat and to support people in the areas that have already been affected. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Jeremiah. Honorable members, as is our practice, usually a statement of this nature, when it is sought, as you wait for the response, because of the importance of the matter, you normally express your views so that even as the office concerned is coming to answer, they also look at the record of the assembly so that they can answer adequately. And before we even start that, we are hoping that if the BBI passes, the recommendation that CAF, I keep on giving you tidbits. Where is Mheshimiwa Kieti? When the recommendation, if the recommendation that members of the National Parliament, particularly the National Assembly, be appointed as ministers like we used to have before, Similarly, we proposed that members of county assemblies also be appointed as CECs. This is coming in because if now we had a member here sitting, and assuming that member is the one in charge of agriculture, they would feel the heat of your debate on this matter, and they would seek a few days to come and bring a report. And if they don't bring a report, then we deal with them through the parliamentary system, even as you deal with them through the usual system of CECs. So that is one area which maybe you will also need to think about. It hasn't passed, but that's a proposal. If you are for the idea or if you are not, there is a forum for discussion. And so what we want to hear views of the members on this, even as we commit it to the relevant office. Honorable Ngunga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I am not Mr. Speaker.
Oh, sorry, Madam
Oh,
Speaker.
you are hoping for Mr. Speaker.
Uh,
This is Madam Speaker. Honorable Ngunga.
yes, Madam Speaker.
So when did you forget that?
No,
have
you
a
know,
Madam
the whole of
Speaker?
yesterday, I was very
Oh, you are
happy.
having a Mr. Speaker
I had a Mr. Speaker
in the
yesterday.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have a Madam Speaker.
I want to apologize for that, Madam Speaker. I just want to say I'm pleased by the member who is sitting next to me from Modedeni for having brought before the House this statement, seeking about the present situation of the invasion by the locusts. Members, as you might have realized, both the National Assembly and the Senate have actually been very, very keen on seeking statements from the CS Agriculture about the same. And so, Machakos County is one of the affected, counties. I think this is a statement that is very properly before this House, where, Madam Speaker, we need to get the branches of the CC and the CO Agriculture to get to know how far the locusts have been able, what kind of damage the locusts have been able to invest on us, what measures they have put in place. Of course, we understand that they are doing something, but I think the member is properly before the House to seek what measures actually are there so that members can get to know. Madam Speaker, I remember a while ago when we were doing our supplementary budget, I did pose a question about how we get prepared in some of these things. And I remember I was asking the chairman of the budget whether they were able to place in aside some percentage of the budget to cater for emergencies. And you see, little did I know that this was going to come. Now here it is with us, and I think, Madam Speaker, it's high time that as Assembly also we got prepared so that as we do deliberations and we do at budgeting process, we are also keen so as to say for this kind of emergencies. Madam Speaker, I am aware that this invasion could be a thing of the National Assembly, rather the national government. But Madam Speaker, the county government as well must be prepared. So prepared so that as to set aside a kitty. I am aware this afternoon, Madam Betty is also seeking a statement about the road, the status of the road. This again is also the same thinking, because we had very, very heavy rains that pounded the county, and it looked like we have always been unprepared. Madam Speaker, therefore, I want to challenge the House and say that I think the buck starts with us and rests with us, and so we need to get prepared, Madam Speaker. But of course, I'm happy that my brother here is thinking ahead of time. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There's an issue that Honorable Ngunga, you have raised on the kitty, the emergency kitty. I think that matter came before this House, whether we have an emergency kitty as a county. There was a motion. So this again comes back to you. It starts with you and ends with you. You passed a resolution for establishment of an emergency fund.
Madam Speaker, if I may correct that, it's actually a requirement in, is it the PM Act, that any county, that any budget must have a reserve of 2% of the budget as emergency.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it starts with not you in particular, but the members of this assembly. Because it is a requirement that you have that emergency fund. And I remember sometimes back the position was that you don't have the regulations. Remember Section 116 PFM Act, you must have regulations in place, just like you did with the bursary fund. So what have you done to follow up on implementation, Honorable, on implementation of that? You have an answer to that, Honorable Dominic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We allocated some money for emergency.
The budget?
Yes, for emergency. However, for this money to be available for use, the County Executive Committee needed to have sat and passed resolutions. So the guidelines,
Draft regulations.
Yes.
And bring here for your approval.
Yes.
So my question still remains, what have you done by way of following up on implementation of that? It is actually, the position is like you have stated. Honorable Museku, you have an answer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think in the budget report which we read before this House, the recommendation was there that first and foremost, they had put 70 million shillings into that kitty during the main budget. And then during the supplementary budget, they moved all of it and only remained left 7 million shillings sitting in that. 6 million.
Okay.
6 million shillings sitting in that account. Now, the explanation which was given by the executive is that if we leave the money sitting there without the regulations, they are not going to be able to utilize it. So in our recommendation, in the budget recommendation for the supplementary budget, we instructed them that they need to come out with the regulations so that we can be able to create that kitty and fund it. Because we are going against the regulations. We are going against the rules. There is no one single county which sits without an emergency kit to be able to take care of any emergencies, apart from Machakos County. So I think the onus is on the chair budget to ensure that we pressurize the executive for them to bring forth those regulations, and we have the regulations in place. We put the kitty there, and then we'll be better prepared to respond to such emergencies.
Yeah, that's a matter that has arisen within our statement here. And Honorable Dominic, Chair of Budget, you need to do the necessary. Even as we go on with our expression of views on the statement, you need to summon the officer that is supposed to come and tell you what they are doing about bringing a draft regulations to this house for passing. And even without debating it, you need to bring that in the next 2 weeks, 14 days. That is called a debate within a debate. Yes, please take it up upon your committee.
Okay.
Okay, so now we go back to our statement. Just the expression, members' views. A point of order, Honorable Kisila.
Madam Speaker, do we actually, there's a budget committee normally follow up with the executive to establish how budgets are being utilized? Or when we just pass the budget, we just assume that they are adhering to that?
Is that a third debate within a debate?
Yes.
The question is, Honorable Kisila, do you sit in the budget committee? You don't. In fact, it's not just, let's just comment generally, it's not just the budget committee, but all committees. And in the morning I started, you, Honorable Kisila, you are not here. And I started by telling you members, you don't have time now, is not in your favor. And that means what you pass here and you think you make a difference to the people on the ground, make sure it is implemented. So that's another issue on implementation, okay? Yes. So let us just carry on now with the statement. Very briefly, Honorable Kingori, have they reached in Katani? Have they reached Katani? Okay, so let's very briefly, because we want to commit it to the relevant.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm aware of the same thing, but what I like to say is that we need delegated committee to be given more duties to do, so that we can follow up on those issues, because we have been lying idle. Yet regulations start squarely on.
This is, you are out of order because that's not on the table.
Okay,
but
thank you,
if
Madam
I see
Speaker.
anything that must go to the delegated committee, I like your zeal to want to do work. I'll give you the work. Thank you. So let's proceed to submissions on the statement.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll follow that.
Oh, so you, all right, go ahead.
Madam Speaker, I am aware that we have a problem in our area. Sometimes back, it even invaded, not this time round, but in my home area where I come from, in Nyeri. That's where I was born. Yes, I have to say that because everybody have a past. That's
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ngunga, there's no point of order. All of us here came from somewhere to come to Machakos. So Honorable Kingori, please submit and don't tell us your past.
Thank you, Madam
We
Speaker.
want your presence.
I withdraw and I rest my case.
Thank you, Honorable Kingori. Honorable Kitengu, I'll have a few members comment. Honorable Kitengu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Kitengu, MCA Kiva Ward and Deputy Leader of Majority Party. Honorable Speaker, I would like to say that I think I was the first victim to have been affected by the locust. I think they entered through a place called Kiva, Machakos, DC. And it's terrible, Honorable Speaker, because they fly in swarms and they can cover an area of more than 9 kilometers. Find that everything is I'm trying to look for the color, but everywhere you see, you can just be able to see it everywhere, kind of yellow. But I can attest that I visited one shamba of a residence of Machakos, DC, and they really caused damage. And as for the statement, Honorable Speaker, I must say that I called His Excellency the Governor, and that time he was in Australia, and also I involved the Chair, Agriculture. I also involved the CEO, Agriculture, and because they visited us that evening, the following day by 8 o'clock, the county officers were on site, and we tried to mobilize through national government, and we managed to start the aerial spray at midday, and again, we could not manage to chase all of them. Again, we got another swarm the following day evening, another place called Kwachumbo also. And that time I made a lot of noise. I also made press conference to the national government. And the following day, we got the government spokesman, Sarah Zoguna, who now clarified that it's a national calamity. They entered through Garissa, Moyale, and the origin, they came from Yemen to Ethiopia, and then Somalia, then to Kenya. And he told us that the government is handling the issue. What we need to do is to give the government ample time. And I must attest that, Honorable Speaker, that, and this Honorable House, that although my ward has been is the highway, yeah, they come through my ward. Because even day before yesterday, I received some also. Yesterday, there were others again. And Honorable Speaker, I can say that the county government is on toes to end the issue. But Honorable Speaker, you understand now it's almost everywhere in Machakos, because I've heard that now they are in Kangundo. And if they station in your ward for 3-4 hours, they can cause a very big damage. So I find the statement timely, so that now we can set up aside funds, because that time county government did not have any funds. We were just trying to lean on national government, and whereby we could not have enough chemicals, because the swarms were in Masinga Central, Kiva Ward, others are in the junction of Kitui, and you see national government are not dealing with one ward or one county, because they could spray in my ward. Again, the aerial spray, they directed all the way to Mwingi North and Mwingi Central. So you realize that we asked the government spokesperson that we need more than 3 or 5 aerial sprays just to handle the issue of Eastern. And Honorable Speaker, to me, just to let the House know that the county government, as per the statement, has trying best to work with the national government, although there's no funds for this emergency. So we could
Within
not
the
procure
county.
any chemicals in the Machakos County.
No funds within the county. Or
Emergency.
even at the national government.
No, in the county government, in the county government of Machakos, because we could not, the Department of Agriculture and funds. But when I spoke to the Waziri, he told me that they cannot procure anything because
What is Waziri?
the minister, the CEC.
Yes, speak English.
Yeah, I spoke to the CEC, sorry, Madam Speaker, and he told me they could not procure anything because they don't have funds for this emergency. So I found the statement timely that we need to have regulations so that as a county we can have these emergency kits. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Muletia.
I'm Honorable
Sorry,
Kitengo.
Kitengo. Honorable Cosmas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Cosmas Matungulu Eastward, Madam Speaker, MCA. Madam Speaker, I'm glad to report that as we speak now, the locusts are within Matungulu sub-county. To be more specific,
You should be crying. You are glad or
Um,
you are sad to report that?
I'm sad to report
Yes.
that the locusts, as we speak today, Madam Speaker, they are within Matungulu sub-county, and to be more specific, Matungulu North. And Madam Speaker, since morning we have been talking about budget, and I want to believe it's high time this house be getting some reports, maybe on a monthly basis, from the executive of how much we get, Madam Speaker, from the COB, and maybe in terms of recurrent and development. Because, Madam Speaker, we need to be informed on whether we are getting such funds which can assist us in this menace. Madam Speaker, I'm being told it's like they are occupying a diameter of 6 kilometers, 6 kilometers, and they are yellow in color. So I'm trying to imagine the damage they'll cause by the end of the day. But the Chair Agriculture reported to us that something is being done to make sure that at least air spraying is done today soonest. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, is a calamity within us. And we need to move fast as soonest. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Cosmas. Honorable Maida.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am Moffat Maida, Member of County Assembly representing the people of Matungulu Westward. Madam Speaker, I want to first of all congratulate the member who has requested for this statement. This statement is very important because, Madam Speaker, our people are suffering because of the invasion of these locusts. These locusts, as you have heard from Honorable Masesi, are now in Matungulu North Ward. And I wish that they don't come to Matungulu West, where I neighbor Matungulu North Ward. And as I speak, I'm told they have now alighted in the village of the honorable member. And that is where he has rushed to.
Which honorable member?
Honorable member Matungulu North Ward.
The name?
Michael Mutiso.
Michael Mutiso.
In fact, he whispered to me that the office of the CEC, Machakos County, has rushed there, and that is where he has gone to accompany them. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the Chair Agriculture because he has been up and down all that time when those locusts have been mentioned in Machakos. And we pray that eventually they will leave Machakos County. Madam Speaker, I would wish to request His Excellency the Governor and the ECs to sit down and formulate the policies so that when they are given money, they can fight such innovations like the one at hand. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Maida. Honorable Dalana. Honorable Kamito, I'll come to you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Margaret Ndalana, nominated by Maendeleo Chap Chap. I want to say this, Madam Speaker. The word of God is telling us, Joel 1:1, things like this will come. So I request our people to pray so that we can see the will of God. Thank you.
In fact, they should not only pray, but they should also change from their wicked ways. It's usually a curse. And it is some of us, or all of us, who have not been doing what God wants us to do. Right? So we don't even ignore, you are house of law. House of legislation. But remember, there is also the higher legislation somewhere. Honorable Kamitu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm Alex Kamitu, MCA Talawad. Madam Speaker, first I want to applaud Honorable Jeremiah to have brought this statement. And mine will be very brief, Madam Speaker. I want to give out an historical event because maybe, not even maybe, and with due respect, Madam Speaker, if you look at the number of the members of Machakos County Assembly, some of them, many of them I would say, have not experienced it. This is their first time to have experienced the locust invasion.
I think it's all of us. Has anyone here ever witnessed them before?
Yeah, that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming.
This is the
Madam
second time you're witnessing.
No, I'm saying when I was a young boy looking for cattle, I think I was about 13 years. And as I said, I want to talk about experience and history, historical events. And that's why I'm saying some of us might have not experienced such an invasion of locust. Locust invasion is a very destructive type of invasion in regard to agriculture, in regard to food security, Madam Speaker. So now that the statement has given us a pen picture, Honorable Member for Kivaya has again given us a practical experience that he saw in his ward. So what we are saying, Madam Speaker, is that policies brought into this house, if they are not followed by the implementation committee for that matter, or for any respective committee for that matter, we shall be doing mark times. In police, mark time is just standing in one place and you are not moving backward or forward. So this assembly of Machakos, honorable members, we should now stand up because you remember the statement that was made by our speaker. Time is moving and time is we are running short of time. 2022 will be, we are catching up with the 2022. So what am I saying? On a very sincere note, we should now be on our foot. We should now, as a wake-up call, to see that things, motions, bills passed by this house should be followed for the benefit of the honorable members and for the benefit of the electorate who brought us into this house. We are the eyes of the electorate. So what I would like to say is that for the purpose being the eye of the government of this assembly, I talked with the honorable, His Excellency the Governor, and really he is doing something in regard to locust invasion, in regard to response, but that is not enough. Let's put regulations, let's put things we document, and we make a follow-up that whatever has been has been passed by this house as a follow-up. We make sure things, we ensure that things are followed and we can say we have got this, or this is what we have, and this is the shortfall. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, this is not a question of, this is not a game of cricket. It is a game that members should come up. It is war against locust invasion. Otherwise, let's move forward and we ensure that we don't, or we are not put into an area where we are going to experience starvation. And as I said, historically, I remember when I was 13 years when the locusts invaded our area. cattle died because they normally invade the grass. They normally go for the foods, and especially even the trees. They go for the trees. So it is a serious issue that we should take a very big concern and move forward as a house. And as you said, the chair budget, let's follow the regulations. Let's summon the CC who is in charge of that, so that when we are talking about emergency fund, we should be talking of an emergency fund that is applicable, that is within our hand reach, and we can apply when need arises. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kamito. Honorable Mita, from where you sit as the Chair, Agriculture.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, I support the statement sought by Honorable Jeremiah Monguti on the issues of locusts invasions, desert locust invasion. Well, it has come at the right time, Madam Speaker. And I think before, as we seek information from the side of executive, I don't know whether it would be wrong to at least update the House on issues we are being handling on related to desert locusts, Madam Speaker.
Go ahead and let the House know. Maybe you have the answers they are seeking.
You will give me the guidance, Madam Speaker.
I'm saying you go ahead and give the information.
Okay, thank you. Madam Speaker, on 24th of January, we had some swarms which moved to Machakos County, to be specific, Kiva Ward, from Embu and Mwingi counties. Madam Speaker, as we speak today, we have managed as county, because the work of county is to survey and to monitor. We have our extension officers on the ground whose work is to inform the national government. Whenever they trace these locusts in their areas, they inform the national government, so that now the national government, through FAO, are able to act on the attacks by these locusts. Madam Speaker, as we speak today, we only have one swarm in Machakos County, and that swarm is in Matungulu North. It moved yesterday in the evening after it was sprayed at Matu Ward. In fact, it was sprayed in the morning, but because now the chemical they are using is not knockdown chemical, it works within a span of 10 hours. They managed to move to Matungulu North. They landed there yesterday in the evening. Madam Speaker, the latest information I have, which I received today at around 2, because you cannot spray these locusts during daytime. After 10, they become very active and they fly.
10 in the night?
After 10 a.m. in the morning, they become very active and they start flying. So you find you cannot, because for you to spray successively, they have to be somewhere, not on the move. So the time proposed for spraying, it's either early in the morning, between 6 and 10, or at around 5 in the evening and 7 p.m. Because at that time, they are settled somewhere. Madam Speaker, as of today at 1, the information I got is that the plane is there. We have the chemicals. But the most unfortunate thing is that the pump of the plane is spoiled. And the engineers were on the way to come and work on the aeroplane, so that tomorrow, very early in the morning,
we will be able now again to confirm, because these things are on the move. What I understand, they might not be actually by late in the evening, they might not be at Matungulu North. They might have moved to another place. And what we are doing through the surveillance and monitoring, wherever they land, because now the state at which they are is the state for reproduction. We are monitoring through GPRS. We are assembling a team to monitor, so that, because, Madam Speaker, once they hatch eggs, it takes 21 days to hatch. After 21 days, we'll have nymphs. Like at Honorable Kitengo Ward, we anticipate by between 28th of February 2020 and 8th of March, we will have nymphs at his place, at his ward. And well, the attacks happened, Madam Speaker, our Honorable Governor was not around. And immediately when he came back, he assembled our CEC and our chief officer and our director, with the information that the director, who is conversant with this issue, would advise the governor and the executive on the chemicals which we need to use, so that we purchase as county government, and also hand sprays or ULVs, ultra something, modernized pumps, so that now we equip areas where, like Kiva Ward, areas where those things have been, we prepare ourselves. So the issue of emergency kit comes in, because yes, we might procure the pumps and the chemicals, but there is no law. So at the end of the day, the director of AOB people will come and land on however purchase those things, Madam Speaker. It again strengthens the need to have that law, emergency law, so that we are able to purchase. Honorable Speaker, again, as agriculture committee chairs under SECEB, we again thought it was good, because this thing, whenever it attacks Machakos, it's attacking Kitui. Fortunately or unfortunately, Makueni has not had serious cases. Maybe it's on the way, because we know whatever now will come up, the nymphs which will grow in the next 2 weeks at most, they will now spread over. In fact, I can inform my colleagues, we have not had the problem. What we are waiting is the real problem. And that's why we want to prepare ourselves. Because these things, the nymphs will take 7 days to have wings to fly. And within that 7 days, we'll have to work on them so that we eradicate them. Failure to that, they'll be able to fly, and now we'll not be able to tame the issue. So, Madam Speaker, we met at Mwingi, because the neighboring ward, there is a neighboring ward, I can't recall the name, maybe Mweshimwa, Ngutani ward in Mwingi, in Kitui County. It neighbors Honorable Morris ward. And that's actually, it's like a Honorable Kitengu's ward. And actually that acts like a breeding ground, Madam Speaker. We went there, we walked a radius of 15 kilometers. Those things, the land was purely yellow. And we are very much aware that after 21 days, that approximately at the end of this month and the first week of March, they will have hatched, the eggs will have hatched, and we anticipate a lot of challenges. So what we did under SECEB, because we met like under SECEB, Madam Speaker, we met and we had a few resolutions. I don't know whether I can maybe just go through the resolutions.
Locusts.
Yes, it was on locusts, Madam Speaker, because the issue before us is on locusts. And Madam Speaker, there is the danger now on locusts. it's obvious the locusts are destroying food crops, which is a threat to human food security.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Although I think the chairman of agriculture has a lot of material on this, but I think for the purpose of the House, I think we are preempting what answers we might be getting if this statement was to be referred to a committee or to the right place.
Honorable Ngunga, I am in full control. This is very important debate, and I know at what point I'll commit the statement to the relevant.
I just wanted to share that
It's okay.
information.
I hear you, but I'm telling you I'll commit it at the appropriate time. Just let the member continue. Honorable Mita, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think for the sake of time, which I think the honorable member is concerned about, I'll look for...
I'm looking at the clock. It's right in front of me.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me just rush to the resolutions. The 3 counties should activate the emergency funds for easier control of locusts. Madam Speaker, that point clearly shows the importance of that emergency. This was discussed under SECEB. Procurement of ULV motorized pumps and procurement of locust control pesticides. Madam Speaker, I think if there is any other information we will get from the executive side, us as agriculture committee from the 3 counties, I want to assure honorable members we are on this issue, and I must actually thank both the national government and the county government, because at any given time, Madam Speaker, there is a time we had 4 swarms and we managed. Currently, we have only 1, which I know within maybe 2 days we'll be through with it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mita. I was wondering, Honorable Mita, because you seem to be on top of things, what is the role of the community? Do they just sit and wait for the spraying for what? Is the community, is there any way members are sensitizing the members of public on what to do, even if it is appearing to be an uncivilized way of doing it? Is there anything the members of public can do?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, the community is much aware, and they have improvised other ways of also working on the locusts, Madam Speaker. We have an area whereby actually children were sent back home with the whistles so that they blow them, and because these things they don't like somewhere where there is noise. Others are working with the iron sheets, anything which is making noise. But that is not a solution, Madam Speaker, because even if I do it at my homestead, they'll just go to my neighbor. It's like just taking them, transferring that. That's not a solution. It's not a long-term solution, but it's a way of just.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Ndawa, very briefly, finally.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for catching my eye. I want also to share my experience because I'm the...
Don't make it a very long experience.
Yes. I'm the latest victim. They were in my ward yesterday. They came the previous night. So, what I would request the honorable members, once you see those lockouts, the first thing is to make sure that you pass the information to the relevant department. We pass the information to the
office. Is there a hotline?
We have structures from top to the grassroots.
No, you need to share with the members. How do they pass the information? Is there a number they are going to call, or do they call who?
Madam Speaker, almost every MCA who is elected from a ward has a number for the minister, the chief officer, and also the director.
Important
most of
that
them.
It goes on record. That is what they're supposed to do.
Yes. Again, His Excellency the Governor made an appeal that whenever we see them, we should report to the administrator. If we report to the administrator, the message will go up to his office. So the moment we reported, action was taken. By yesterday, 8 in the morning, is when the aircraft took off. And when it took off, we were there. I was there by 6 in the morning, waiting for that exercise to take place. So, Madam Speaker, the exercise not take more than 20 minutes. It's just an exercise which is going to take about 10 minutes, then they are done. They may not relocate during that time. You will wait until when the sun is becoming somehow hot. That is the time they will start moving. Madam Speaker, this, I don't know whether it is pesticide or chemical, you call it what. It is not killing instantly. You just see them alive. But what we came to realize is that once you spray, they just move from your area to another area. They will die in another place, not in your place. So, Madam Speaker, the locusts were in a place known as Ngengi. Ngengi village is in Kaluluini sub-location. So the moment we sprayed, after maybe 2-3 hours, they moved from that location. So they spread to every other part of Matu. I was getting calls from every corner. So once the spraying is done, people should not be scared. If you see them in other areas, they are just on transit, going to another place. The distance, according to the report we are getting from experts, once they relocate, they go between 40 kilometers and 130 kilometers. So if they are in Matunguru North right now, because I have interest in Matunguru North, where we have Kianzave Farmers Company Limited.
Now, don't tell us that. Honorable Ndawa.
Yes.
Finalize your,
yes.
Your submission.
So we have consulted the relevant department, that is the office of the governor. People have been sent there. They have already given what they are calling, they don't know what they are calling them. There are some things they are supposed to give back. Continents, is it continents? Continents. They have already done that. And we have been assured that by 8 in the morning, the exercise will take place. The other information that I want to share, rumors, is that the government of America has donated about.
Did you say there are rumors you're sharing?
I've heard from the radio. That is because I don't have anything to table.
So then can we proceed to what is not rumors? Honorable
Yes,
Ndawa.
but it is information. It is information that I've
That
just
the
heard.
international community is also seeing.
They have seen this thing is a big problem. So they are promised to give about 3 billion to Kenyan government to work on that menace. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, if the other things could be done the way things are done when it comes to issue of the locusts, this time round, the government is doing 100% and very effectively and very fast. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndawa. Honorable members, Honorable Kamulu, just leave it at that. I know they are said also to have visited you, but they passed. So it's okay. I think it is the same similar experience. Honorable Kamulu, then go ahead and tell us very quickly.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. What I have, Madam Speaker, in connection to this one, is on number 2 request. The budget committee, when they were trying to answer whether we have a fund
Are you wanting
on
to say
emergency.
what Honorable Museku has just
Yes,
Were
that
you
one.
here when he submitted?
Exactly, Madam Speaker, that is where I am.
Proceed.
They said, if I'm clear, they never allocated monies because there is no policy. That is the position,
There are no regulations.
because there are no regulations. But Madam Speaker, in the morning, during communication hour, you gave us a caution that when we are making decisions on issues, we should also be careful because we can tie ourselves. Madam Speaker, we should be talking of a fund which was allocated as emergency but tied that it will only be used when regulations are there. But now we are talking of a kit which is not there, waiting for regulations to be formulated when the locusts are invading us, when floods have destroyed our houses, and we don't know when that kitty will be allocated to us. Madam Speaker, my view is let us budget, but let us have it and let it be used when the regulations are there, but let the money be allocated. Because in case it was there now, it could be allocated as emergency. Then the policies could be made within fortnight. Then we cater for the same. That is my view. That is my position.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Kamulu. Honorable members, let the Committee on Agriculture, adding to the views of the members and the views expressed by the chair of that committee, attend to this statement and seek the necessary answers which are not yet in the assemblies, in the floor of the assembly, and bring the answers. You know you're going to seek them from your counterparts, the Department of Agriculture, so that you bring that response not later than the 24th day of February. It's going to be a marathon. 24th of February is just next week at 2:30 p.m. We have to do a marathon because we don't know where else they are going to head. They are within us, they are amongst us. So the next statement, honorable members, is sought by Honorable Betty. Sorry, Honorable Betty. Just be there. Honorable members, even with the information you got, particularly from the Agriculture Chair, members of your wards, when they ask you questions, you may be able to answer, but still tell them that you're waiting for further and complete answers from the county executive. So you have some information to share with your people on the ground. They are worried, all of them. Honorable Betty.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Betty, representing the great people of Masai. Honorable Speaker, the fourth schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides the distribution of functions between the national government and the county governments. County transport includes county roads, street lighting, traffic and parking, public roads, transport and ferries and harbors is a function of the county governments. Honorable Speaker, heavy rains that have been pounding all over the country for the last 4 months have brought a menace to the county roads. Flooded residential areas and impassable roads have become the new phase of the town, exposing their poor drainage system. The perennial problem for the county government, school-going children, business persons, motorists and residents all over the county have been left to deal with the poor, gullied roads, exposing them to danger. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 41, Cap 2C, I wish to seek the following statement. What the Department of Roads and Transport and Public Works is doing to ensure that maintenance works on our roads commence and that the roads are kept in good condition to provide safe, convenient, and effective travel on them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Betty. Honorable members, this is another statement that is addressing an issue that is core to the members. Everybody has experienced the problem that the statement is seeking to address. The few comments you have, honorable members, can we have Honorable Muthoka? I will give occasion to members to comment. Honorable
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Fred Muthoka from Mitaboni Ward. This is also another heavy issue, almost equal to that of locusts. In fact, people are calling in the radio every morning about the road. I have one from Mitaboni called Maweo. He calls.
Maweo means in the evening.
Yeah, the man is called. Yeah, it's called Maweo. He's calling every day, and I understand them. And we came here, we passed a supplementary budget. Each ward was allocated 500,000 for fuel, for grading. 1 million, 1 million. The grader, Madam Speaker, it's now at my ward. It came 2 weeks ago in a place called Dino. It graded only 1 day, and now they are saying no fuel. It has slept there for the last 2 weeks. So also, Chairman Budget, we also want to know where the 1 million of the fuel went. Anyway, it's a big issue, and we want the county government to act now. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Muthoka. I'll give you opportunity, members. Honorable Stephen Mwanthi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Stephen Mwanthi, representing the great people of Kalakala. Madam Speaker, after the long rains, I think we've been a very big problem, and to some extent we are accusing the county executive, because sometimes back they requested for some project, for the emergency projects. As honorable members, we gave them and nothing has ever come forth with on that same issue. Currently, though, we enter a motion here, sometimes back when we were saying that these county graders, to some extent they are not helping and we need to get an alternative way. Because for example, the grade has been, our sub-county grade has been in a Kalakala for the last like 3 months or so.
Is it secure where it is?
But, sorry?
Is it secure?
Yes, the grant is secure, but now unfortunately for the last 3 months it has only done less than 5 kilometers. So it's just like something which is standing there to make to entice the public, yet they are seeing nothing being done. The public has gone to an extent of asking us if it's fuel so that they may fuel. Sometimes you find the graders are faulty. So it's something that has been disturbing us to an extent that nowadays when there is a barrier at home, it becomes a big problem to these honorable members going home because you don't know what you are going to tell people. So I think it's timely and it needs needs urgent it needs somebody now to work on that issue urgently, because that way now things are very hard for these honorable members. And Madam Speaker, I understand we were supposed to have a public participation, but honorable members are worried on how they are going, what they are going to tell people in those public participation, just because of that problem of roads, the way the roads are. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Stephen Mwanthi. Honorable Museku, I'll come to you, members. Only that be brief, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Paul Museku. I represent the great people of Mumbone North. Madam Speaker, I cannot agree more with the statement which has been brought to the House by the Honorable Betty, in that there is need for the county government or for the executive to move with haste and speed and repair the roads of our people. Madam Speaker, it pains me when I know, personally being a member of the Budget Committee and also being an honorable member of this House, that we passed, approved for funds in this House, both for honorable members' individual projects of road grading, and on top of that, we set aside 40 million shillings for fuel for graders. Two different things here. We passed funds for roads to be graded, contracted out. And we gave amounts of money for those roads to be done that. On top of that, we said we are setting aside 40 million shillings for the county graders to be having 1 million shillings per ward to do the roads which they are supposed to do. Up to now, there is not one single road in my area which I can tell you which has been done. What I did, personally, is that I got a grader, I fueled the grader, so that I can be able to do a road which was in bad condition leading to the place where I personally stay. And on top of that, after I fueled it, it was taken away from me when it had my fuel. Today in the morning, when you saw me leave here, I went to the engineer. When I left the house, I went to the engineer, Engineer Evans. And I told him, my friend, there are jokes which are jokes, and others which should not be jokes, because I fueled a grader 20,000 shillings. I used it for half a day. You take it away, and up to now, that's almost a week ago, I'm not seeing back the grader. So, the fuel, the grader, everything gone. So, I think it is an issue which we need to look at very, very seriously, because it affects each and every one of us. Every single time.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Point of information, Honorable Stephen Mwanthi. Honorable Museku.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In fact, to add on, I just want to inform the honourable member that we have forums with the executive where even the minister is there. And Madam Speaker, I remember some time when he said that we've given them a budget of 10,000 for repairs, and that was too little. We need to give them 60 million. 10 million, sorry, yeah, I mean 10 million, yeah. And they want a budget of 60 million just for repairs only. So you can imagine spending 60 million on 7 graders to repair, other than buying new ones. That becomes a challenge. So I can understand what the honourable member is trying to say, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That honourable member.
Our standing orders don't have point of support. Honourable
Thank you.
Museku, please proceed.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for the issue he has brought on board. That amount you are hearing about, 60 million shillings, to service 8 graders, and a grader costs how much? A new one. Give it 10 million shillings. Okay. We are talking not Caterpillar. We are talking about Shanzhou. If you are talking about Caterpillar, you go to 19. The ones from China is 10 million shillings. So what we are saying is this. Ours are from China. They are not Caterpillar.
Let's hear the member.
They are not Caterpillar. So what I'm trying to say, honorable members, is this. There needs to be more seriousness seen in the execution of things, especially things which matter most to our people. We cannot have graders and they are lying down simply because we cannot be able. If a grader uses 10,000 shillings a day and we have 8 graders, then we are talking about 80,000 shillings a day. Are we saying that the county government of Machakos cannot afford to fuel 8 graders at 80,000 shillings a day when we have set aside 40 million shillings for that? 40 million shillings. So I would like, that's why I'm supporting the statement, that there is need for accountability for us to be shown the accountability. If we have put 40 million shillings and we are now almost several months afterwards, surely something needs to be seen on the ground. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Museku. Honorable Mulatia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Tariq Mulatia, elected by the great people of Masinga Central. Madam Speaker, we made a handshake, and it is time now to call a spade a spade. This roads department has totally failed. Madam Speaker, internet never forgets, and so is our answered. Madam Speaker, when we went to Ndidhini for our Bunge Mashinani, I brought a motion that we should give contracts to all our roads because I saw this problem. In the last regime, the problem was there. The superior MCS used to get the graders, and other wards never got graders.
Honorable Mulatia, who are the superior MCS? For what my record, all the MCS, other than the positions that they hold.
The ones who were so close to the executive that time.
All right.
Point of information.
Point of order from Honorable Kamitu, Minority.
Team inform me, I'm ready.
Honorable Mulatia, he is not informing you. He's informing the House.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm Alex Kamitu, MC Talaward. I was in the last Bunge, and Madam Speaker, there was no any definition of people who are supreme than others. Otherwise, that is my point of order. We should now be discussing on issues that are affecting. Time factor is now. We are not forgetting about the past. But sincerely, I also support his statement that the way he's making his statement as a point of order is that let's talk of what we have now. Forget about the past, not forget about the past, because he can't define who are those members who are supreme at that time, because you cannot point a finger on those ones. Let's talk of the problem that we have currently, and we are going to move forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mulatia, all right?
I think he's trying to direct me, and he cannot direct me because I'm making my submission.
Honorable Mulatia.
That was not
You're not addressing Honorable Minority, you're addressing the chair.
Okay,
So
Madam
can
Chair.
you withdraw what
Let-
you just said
I
and
just
proceed?
withdraw.
Proceed.
I withdraw. My argument was, Madam Speaker, when I brought the motion that we should give contracts, or we should contract all our roads because of this problem. For instance, in Masinga Central, the grinder which is there because of the size of our wards, it's serving 3 wards. And we sat down with the executive and we said it's going to work 7 days per ward. Madam Speaker, Honorable House, 1 year down the line, it has never completed 21 days circle. It's still remaining 1 day in a Kalakala. It is very traumatizing when you find that grinder is just kept at Chief's camp. People are seeing it there. And you find our opponents telling people, Mheshimiwa has consumed all your fuel. He has eaten all the money. They are going to understand that person. So, Madam Speaker, I don't see how this department, and when we report to them, the minister is very quick to command the engineers, bring the BQs, bring the BQs. I think the BQs which are in that department, they can even fill this house because there are so many. So I don't know. I think we need to have a full house committee with the minister and the whole department of roads, because there is a big problem. For instance, I've used this road where Madam Speaker passes every day. That road goes all the way to Joska or Kamulu. It is the worst road in this county. And that is where our speaker passes. When you come to the other side,
That one I will not allow.
when you
because
come,
let him
Madam
finish
Speaker,
what
I'm
he's
also,
saying.
yeah, Madam Speaker, I'm talking because I travel within our county. When you go to Ndidini, I think it's Ndidini or Mudesia, where the honorable members, my colleagues, come from. There is one of the ward there. They granted, and the rain came. It was a big river. So we have, maybe we are going to add another ward there, because this side, you cannot go the other side. So, Madam Speaker, this is a very serious case, and it needs a very serious attention. Like right now, when I was issuing my bursaries, I had to walk for 6 kilometers, 3 going up to Kadhui from Yeuma, and 3 back. And I could not deny my people the services. So I had to work with my team. So, Madam Speaker, when I'll call you and the honorable members to come and support me in Kadhui, so you know that you are going to walk 3 kilometers and 3 kilometers back. So, Madam Speaker, what I'm saying, what I'm saying, yes, Madam Speaker.
Can I walk 3 kilometers with this?
No, you can see the menace there. So what I'm trying to say, Madam Speaker, I think after resolution on this, even if it's next week, very urgent, we should, the roads transport through our able chair should call the minister, we sit down, because this is a problem affecting everybody. We sit down with them, we see what to do together, Madam Speaker. It's a very serious problem. Thank you.
We hear you, Honorable Mulatia. Honorable Johanna, I'll give you opportunity, honorable members. Honorable Johanna.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to support the mover of this statement because it is very current and very thorny also. I am a victim of the prevailing circumstances brought about by the heavy rains. In fact, Madam Speaker, I have been featuring in the media for the last 1 month, NTV, Musi FM, and the others, full of complaints of my electorate. Madam Speaker, at some point I was forced to mobilize some well-wishers and solicit for some funds to give one of a gully which was threatening to cut across a major road in my ward some first aid, which also brought so many issues. So, Madam Speaker, I concur with the members who are for the opinion that we very quickly meet with the executive or the department concerned and seek an urgent, lasting solution to the current status of our roads in the county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Johanna. Honorable Ikusia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Ikusia Kaloki. I want to make a contribution to this statement. I think it's well placed. We are all suffering as members of this house. Personally, the other day we had a funeral in my ward, and we had to carry a body for about 2 kilometers because the roads were totally impassable. I think it's high time we get a statement from the minister and also the roads committee on the current situation, because it's like there's no one to bail us out. As I stand here, I don't take the route of Honorable Mulatia. It's like there's something that we are not being told from the department.
Which route is that you don't want to take?
The one of the one of Superior MCS. There's a point I want to put across, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, we finalized on Superior.
Yes,
So
there's a point I want to put across. There are some wards which have never lacked a grader, and the other wards have graders which are permanently either broken down or have no fuel at all. We don't know why. It's either our sub-county engineers are not communicating this to the department or to the relevant people, or maybe we always allocated the graders which are completely worn out. My suggestion is this. Some counties have engaged contractors in almost every ward, not contractors, but have hired graders for almost each and every ward to substitute or to support their current system of grading, because I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible in our wards. So something urgently needs to be done. Number two, the CC, roads and transport. It needs to come out and tell us exactly what is happening with our graders. It needs to come out and tell us exactly what happens with our fuel money, and also what happens with our maintenance money. I want to believe that His Excellency the Governor may not be aware of such issues that are happening on the ground. Yesterday, myself and Honorable Mita, we called the minister, he never picked our calls. We called the chief officer, he never picked. And we called the chief engineer roads, the chief engineer mechanical. And he told me there is one grader which can be available within the next 2-3 hours. Since that time to date, he has never picked my calls. Our grade has been grounded for the last 3 months. Honestly, what are we going to do about this? If we are not careful as an assembly, as a house, I am seeing danger ahead of us. And roads, these small things like roads, water, and even Mlikamuis, they mean a lot to our people. They mean a lot to our wards. As we speak, you cannot cross from Kawedei location to the other side of Kadana location. You have to go all the way around the tarmac, pass through Matetani to get to Kadana location, because the roads are quite impassable. So it's high time, Madam Speaker, we make an urgent decision to engage the executive the shortest time possible. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Dan, because Dan Baby, I think it's a matter that is affecting all of us. We need to make a decision on way forward, particularly on addressing issue of county roads urgently. Honorable Dan Bevy, if you have anything to tell us, please do so, because I know you are the chair of transport.
Yes, Madam
Yes.
Speaker.
And then when you make a contribution, we will take some decision as a house.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Daniel Mutukumbevi, MCA Mlolongo Shukima Ward, Chair Roads. First, I would want to request our honorable members not to despair and don't panic. Some of the problems probably may be coming from our side, because actually the way Mheshimiwa Mulatia has just put it, we passed a motion that all roads in our ward should be contracted. And I'm sure, and I remember very well, it was my contribution towards that. Because as the chair, I had talked to almost every member here and had the complaints and what was to be done. And once that motion was brought, I thought these problems would end. But you see, it has not been implemented, even up to now. I even conducted...
Now, Honorable Dan Bevy, you told the members not to panic. They have every reason to panic.
Yeah, I'm saying...
when things are that way.
No, I'm saying... No, what I'm saying is...
Yeah.
You know, before, although members are saying we should not get back to what was happening before, the division between us as a house sometimes was contributing to some of these things.
Point of order,
Okay.
Madam Speaker.
What I would want to say...
No, I have
Kindly,
not heard
kindly.
what I've
Yeah.
not heard what Honorable Bevy has said in the last part.
Yes.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Thank you, Madam Speaker,
Honorable Bevy, now
for
tell
defending me.
Tell us what is happening on the roads and whether you want assistance.
Yeah.
Because it's like your committee is not doing what the members elected it to do.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. That's why I'm saying...
Honorable members, order. You want to be...
That's why I'm saying we passed a motion that all roads should be contracted. And if the graders have to be used, it should be for emergency cases. We passed that motion here. So probably if implemented, we would not have these issues. The other issue is when I heard the cries of all the members, I went to the office of the engineer myself. We did a letter to all the MCAs.
Now, there are many engineers in the...
Yeah, the CEO.
Yeah, the CEO.
Yeah.
Okay, the CEO.
Yes,
Okay,
roads.
chief officer.
Yeah, the chief officer. So when I went there, we did a letter to all members that you should bring the emergency, the immediate road, that one would want to be done. That is the emergency issue. So when I called him after...
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Dan, Daniel, just
Yes.
a moment. There is some information from...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Kitengo. I like to inform the member that what exactly the members want to hear is what exactly has the department done, how he has done so far, and the exactly situation, because he is the chair, yes.
The committee or the department?
The committee through the to the department, because you know the committee has been liaising with the department. Exactly what Honorable Mita has done to
Point
the
of
House. Thank you.
information.
Now, honorable members.
Point of information.
No, I will not allow. Let the member respond, because you inform him too much. And then you know there has to be an end to this information. Honorable Daniel Mbevi, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for defending me.
No, you don't need it.
So I want to say this, as a committee,
Mheshimiwa Daniel Mbevi.
Yes.
You don't need defense. Just tell the members what you have done.
Yeah, actually, as a committee, we have conducted several site visits.
Are you successful in conducting, are you successful in pursuing the concerns of the members? Are you meeting any hindrances? Are you experiencing what the members are saying?
Yes, we are
Problems?
experiencing the same.
The obstacles?
Yes.
All right. So then we hear you, Honorable Mbevi.
Yes.
All right.
So what we have been doing, we have conducted some site visits to actually evaluate on the same status of the roads. And as all members are aware, the rain that was there, it almost damaged all the roads. But the biggest challenge is once a road is graded, it is not done up to the standards. Because once the rains come, they carry all the soil that has been already by the grader.
You're talking of shoddy execution of works.
Exactly. Show the execution of the work. So if we go by contracting, you see, a contractor will be paid as per the work he has done. So I think if we implement that contracting system, it is the only way we can save our roads. Because the grading of the roads by a grade alone, actually it's like contributing to the destruction of the road, if I may put it like that. Because once the grader does the road, you find that it has already made the soil loose that is on the roads. So once the small rain comes, it will do away with the road and there must be formed a gully. So I would wish to urge them, honorable members, if the executive could implement that motion that we passed, I think it would be the savior of everything. And the other issue is concerning the graders to some MCA wards taking too long. I've talked to all the MCAs. If a grader is at one's MCA for a longer time, it is at the cost of that MCA. It is not because the county is doing the road for the MCA or there is any favor. The MCA is using his own pocket to do the fueling, and it is not about a favor.
Is it okay to do that?
Which is
Even
not
when
okay.
there's a budget?
No, which is not okay. I'm saying.
Honorable Daniel Mbevi.
Yes, Madam
and,
Speaker.
And then others have said, members, others have said the graders have been there for months, but they are broken down or they have no fuel. It's not that they are there working.
You know, I was responding, Madam Speaker, to those who are saying some MCAs are being favored.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Oh no, this is, please, members.
I know it's a funny issue,
we have not
but
to this.
but what I'm saying,
members,
way forward, Madam Speaker. I had requested our clerk to have a full house meeting with the CECs or the departments of the road so that we can see what can be done as an emergency for that reason. So I think, honorable members, you should know that once we pass a motion and it is not implemented, especially this one for the contracting, it will not help us, and you are all aware that the graders don't do proper jobs in our roads. They just grade, probably direct the waters, but they don't do even Karafat works and the rest. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, we have heard the chair. Honorable members, just let your hands rest, because we are going to have a solution to this, and we must. So this statement is the way it is going to be handled is that the CC Finance, CC Transport, what is the full name? The full name of the department? Roads, Transport, and Public Works. One word, one member.
Roads, transport, public works, and housing.
Public Works and Housing. Okay. Honorable members, the direction that the chair is giving is that the CEC member, Machakos County, in charge of roads, transport, public works and housing must appear before the committee of the full house on the 26th of February 2020 in the afternoon, and that will cause a shifting of the business of the house on the 26th of February 2020 at 2:30 p.m. So the office of the clerk do the necessary communication, because the nature of the business.
Point of
is
inquiry,
such
Madam
that
Speaker. Can I inquire something? Just inquire to enrich this, Madam Speaker. Please kindly.
The business, the office of the clerk must do the communication immediately. Immediately. If you have any further members, any further communication or any other issues, we are going to address it before that committee. So the necessary invitation should be issued. And after an invitation, if there's no honoring, the next one is usually summons. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 8, motion.
Honorable members, under this order, we have one business by the Honorable Robert Kisini. Honorable Kisini. Honorable Kisini, you are having Honorable Matei hold your brief. Honorable Kisini.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Because when
She
I
is
called
holding-
Honorable Kisini, I'm seeing
Yes, she is
Honorable
holding
Matei.
brief for me. We were with her at that trip.
Okay,
and then she
Honorable
hold
Matei,
brief.
proceed, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am Helen Deti, specially elected by WIPA. Motion regarding Environment, Lands, Water and Natural Resources Committee. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Article 42 of the Constitution of Kenya provides that every person has a right to a clean and healthy environment, which includes the right to have the environment protected for the benefit of present and future generations through legislative and other measures. Further, Honorable Speaker, aware that Article 69, Sub-Article 1, A, E, and G of the Constitution provides that the state must ensure sustainable exploitation, utilization, management, and conservation of the environment and natural resources, and protect genetic resources, biological diversity, eliminate processes and activities that are likely to endanger the environment. Honorable Speaker, cognizant that energy is the life and pulse of any society, and the well-being of people and the economy depend on safe, secure, sustainable, and affordable energy. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this Honorable House discusses and approves the report of Committee on Environment, Lands, Energy, and Natural Resources on study tour to Malaysia. I would like to call on Mheshimiwa Cosmas Masesi to second them.
What is the English word for Mheshimiwa?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Cosmas Masesi, MC Matongolo Steward. I stand to second the motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Cosmas Masesi. Thank you, Honorable Ndeti. Honorable Ndeti, proceed. Proceed.
A report on Environment, Lands, Energy, and Natural Resources Committee. Report on study tour to Malaysia. Introduction and preface. Honorable Speaker, The right to a clean and healthy environment is a constitutional right for all persons based on the provisions of Article 42. Further, Article 42, Subarticle A of the Constitution provides that every person has a right to a clean and healthy environment, which includes the right to have the environment protected for the benefit of present and future generations through legislative and other measures. Article 43, Subarticle 1, D and T of the Constitution provides that every person has the right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities. Further, Honorable Speaker, Article 69, Subarticle 1, A and E and G of the Constitution provides that the state must ensure sustainable exploitation, utilization, management, and conservation of the environment.
Mweni, you have what?
Information. Madam
Information.
Speaker, I think we are not having quorum.
Oh, a point of order. Honorable Mweni says that on a point of order we may not be having quorum. Mr. Clerk, can you confirm that concern? What is the quorum, honorable members? The quorum is 20.
Yes.
Honorable members, before the two members who are just walked out, and they are members of the committee.
Madam Speaker, point of information.
Let's go. Honorable members, I have a number here which shows that we have quorum, so we proceed. Let's proceed.
Madam Speaker, with your permission, I'll repeat again. I'll start with the introduction.
Honorable Matei, you had gone up to the first paragraph. Please start with the second paragraph of the report.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, environment has significant interlinkages across sectors that makes it a critical sector in the growth and development process. It is worth noting that water and forest nourishes entire ecosystems and provides important habitat for native plants and animals, and therefore need for conservation. Honorable Speaker, the main objective of the study tour was to get an overview of the achievements and milestones made by the government of Malaysia in the environment, energy, and natural resources. This is in line with the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, which mandates counties with matters of environment. Mandate of the committee. Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Environment, Lands, and Energy and Natural Resources is a sectoral committee established under Standing Order number 190 and the 2nd schedule with specific mandates to all matters related to the implementation of specific national government policies on natural resources and environmental conservation, including soil and water conservation and forestry, and control of air pollution, noise pollution, other public nuisances, and outdoor advertising, land survey and mapping, boundaries, fencing, electricity and gas reticulation, energy regulation, water management systems in build-up areas, and water sanitation services. Honorable Speaker, further Standing Order number 190 stroke 5 gives sectoral committees the following mandates: investigate, inquire into, and report all matters relating to the mandate, management, activities, administration, operations, and estimates of the assigned departments. B, study the program and policy objectives of departments and the effectiveness of the implementation. C, to vet and report all appointments where the Constitution or any law requires the Assembly to approve, except those under Standing Order 184, in brackets, Committee on Appointments. And D, make reports and recommendations to the Assembly as often as possible, including recommendations of proposed legislation. E, study and review all county legislation referred to it. F, study, assess, and analyze the relative success of the departments as measured by the results obtained as compared with their stated objectives. G, investigate and inquire into all matters relating to the assigned departments as they may deem necessary and may be referred to them by the Assembly. 2, committee delegation membership to Malaysia. Honorable Speaker, the following honorable members and staff participated in the education tour of Malaysia: Honorable Robert Kisine, chairperson; Honorable Ellen Detty, member; Honorable Michael Mutiso, member; Honorable Jacqueline Ziva, member; Honorable Cosmas Masesi, member; Honorable Pauline Munguti, member; Mwikali Mwaniki, clerk assistant. Background. 3, Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Environment, Lands, Energy, and Natural Resources attended a study tour to Malaysia with the aim of tapping some knowledge which may result to great benefits to Kenya and Machakos County, e.g., promoting health in the relations between the two nations that may boost development, creating a platform for exchange of political, social, and economic ideas, promotion of technological expertise and that constitute vision for many nations. Objectives of the visit. Honorable Speaker, for the purpose of conducting a fruitful study tour, the committee members were guided by the following objectives: to know how the government of Malaysia administers the energy sector, to learn how the government has solved the problem of energy for its citizens, to know some of the policies the government has put in place for environment, water, and energy sector, to learn the approach the government has used to improve its economy. Areas visited. Honorable Speaker, the honorable members had the opportunity to tour some of the prominent areas that were key to economic development of Malaysians, namely Energy Commission Diamond Building, headquarters of the Energy Commission. 2, Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation. This is the MATRED. This is the National Promotion Agency of Malaysia. 3, Borneo Forest. Visit at Borneo Forest. Honorable Speaker, when the committee visited Borneo Forest, they were informed that a century ago, most of Borneo was covered in forest, but the region has lost over half of its forests, and a third of this has disappeared due to growth in illegal wildlife trade, deforestation, palm oil plantations, pulp plantations, illegal logging, and forest fires. Illegal logging has become a way of life for some communities, with timber being taken from wherever it is accessible, sold to collectors, and processed in huge sawmills. It was anticipated that Borneo Forest could lose most of its lowlands, rainforests, if strict measures were not taken. 2, further, Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that habitat conversion from natural forests to palm oil plantations has been shown to have a devastating impact on tropical forests, along with plants and animals that depend on them. Animals such as elephants have increasingly come into conflict with humans due to expansion of human agriculture activities in its natural habitat. 3, the committee was informed that maintaining the forest is critical to ensure the island's water supply, moderate the impacts of droughts and fires, and to support ecological and economic stability in the lowlands. 4, to mitigate the current situation, the delegation was informed that there are protection laws that are in place but are often inadequate or are flagrantly violated, usually without any consequences. 5. Further, the committee was informed that initiatives such as involvement of technical expertise, stakeholder involvement, national and international policy, advocacy, and business and industry initiatives to conserve these pristine forests have been adopted. Lessons learned. The committee learned that forests are endangered and there is need for putting in place strict laws and implementation of the same to protect the forests and animals living there, otherwise there shall be human-animal conflict. When forests are not conserved, there are adverse effects to the climate. 2, the committee also learned that forests may play a major role in water conservation and therefore need for protection since water is life. 3, indigenous trees play a major role of tourist attraction since many tourists visit Borneo Forest to see some indigenous trees which have been there over 100 years and are very valuable, and some are medicinal. 2, visit at Energy Commission in Diamond Building, headquarters of the Energy Commission. Honorable Speaker, the committee had an opportunity to meet the management of Energy Commission of Malaysia, and the main focus of this meeting was discussion on transforming the energy sector and also to analyze the uncertainties which will affect the future of the nation's energy sector. The committee got to learn that Malaysia government is taking decisive steps to ensure that their energy future is green, sustainable, and diverse, and that they use energy in most efficient manner. Malaysia's embracing of green technology is not only to preserve its resources, but also envisaged to act as a new economic motivation for the country. By practicing energy efficiency, they can preserve the environment and energize the Malaysian economy towards becoming a developed nation by the year 2020. Lessons learned. Honorable Speaker, the committee learned that 1, for a country or a county to tap solar energy, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory to have a big space of land. Technology can be embraced and enjoy the benefits accrued from solar energy with a sizable piece of land. A country can make their own solar power when technology is embraced and stop relying on Kenya Power, which is not 100% reliable. 3, visit at Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, MATRADE. This is the national promotion agency of Malaysia. Honorable Speaker, the team managed to visit Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, MATRADE, where you get product directory, service directory of Malaysia brands, textile e-showcase, exclusive from Malaysia products. Recognitions awards to MATRADE, which the committee saw are International Recognition Awards, Malaysia Book of Records Awards, etc. The committee observed that there are different programs for companies and different categories of people. Example, women, youth, which are organized and facilitated by MATRADE, and for either group or company to be eligible, the following must be observed. The company must be locally incorporated under the Companies Act. The company must be in operation for at least 1 year and 60% of its equity shares be owned by Malaysia. The company is not a government-linked majority-owned company. The group or company must be exporting Malaysia products only. The group or company should be registered with MATRADE. Benefits expected from joining MATRADE are assistance in exploring the export market, participation in 3 international trade promotion events a year, and MATRADE covers the cost of flights, accommodation, participation fees, rental, and cost of exhibition. Participation in export training program, in brackets, seminars and trainings organized by the MATRADE. The committee visited Malaysia Export Exhibition Center, MEEC, which is a permanent display center exclusive designed to showcase and promote Malaysia products and services. This center is able to accommodate over 500 Malaysian companies covering 30 industries. MEEC's showcase is categorized in 3 sections. Home display area provides real-life backdrop and showcase for visitors to view the product in its actual application and usage. Both booth area allows visitors to view a wide range of Malaysian products and services according to specific industry cluster. And then the third one is open concept, segmentized by industry cluster, whereby products are displayed in a creative manner to demonstrate its appeal. The committee was very much impressed by the good work of Matrade and MEECs and borrowed some ideas explained in the above, in the report. And if they will be put in consideration and practice, they can really raise level of business and economy of Machakos County. Committee observations. Honorable Speaker, within the 5 days the honorable members interacted with the Malaysians, they noted some key facts about the country which, if well thought about and adapted, Machakos County could easily transform their trade, energy, water, environment sector. The capital city of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur, and their currency is Malaysian ringgit. According to World Bank Census 2017, their population was 31.62 million. Malaysia is a multicultural country whose official religion is Islam. Honorable Speaker, key observations include, unlike many countries of the world, Malaysia has fully utilized its scarce resources. Environmental conservation is highly valued. The city is green with trees and flowers planted by the roadsides, in addition to the tropical rainforest and botanical gardens. No bare ground was seen within the city premises. 3, there is no drop of water which goes to waste, and therefore recycling and treatment of water is highly practiced. 4, sun is a natural resource which is highly valued, and highest percentage of power used in Malaysia is solar power. 5, Malaysia has seriously embraced technology in all sectors, and especially generation of solar power and business transactions. 6, transport sector is highly developed with very good tarmac roads, railways, and pathways for riding. 7, Malaysians have taken the initiative to control transport sector themselves by obeying traffic rules. Surprisingly, no traffic police was sighted along the roads as observed in many countries. 8, maximum space utilization was a key observation since 90s of buildings where story. 8, maximum space utilization was a key observation since 90% of buildings were storage buildings. Storage buildings. 9, all the streets and towns were very clean with bins placed strategically in different places, and on inquiry to the committee was informed that there was a lot of sensitization even from home level on how to handle waste. 10, it was evidently clear that a country like Kenya is blessed with good soil, big chunks of land, rain, wild animals, plant and technical expertise, and that could transform Machakos County for the benefit of the locals and foreigners who may wish to visit the county. 7, committee recommendations. Honorable Speaker, having been amazed by the commendable work Malaysian government was doing, the Committee of Environment, Lands, Energy and Natural Resources came up with some recommendations geared to transforming Machakos at large. The recommendations are: 1, the Department of Environment to embrace planting of indigenous trees that are environmentally friendly, and also embrace planting of trees and flowers on the side of the major roads in Machakos County. 2, the committee recommends that the Departments of Water, Environment and Energy needed to be given a bigger percentage of money so as to ensure that energy efficiency, water efficiency and environmental protection is achieved. 3, the county government to embrace tapping solar power to create a competitive energy market for Machakos, encourage energy conservation and induce sustainability of energy resources. 4, the public to be sensitized on how to harvest and store water without allowing even a single drop to go to waste. 5, the public to be sensitized on how to sort waste for easy disposals, even at homesteads. 6, the county government of Machakos to give priority to water harvesting, recycling, and storage since it's a major problem. 7, county executive to come up with a permanent display center exclusively designed to showcase and promote Machakos County services. 8, conclusions and acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, energy is life and pulse of any society. The well-being people of the economy depend on safe, secure, sustainable, and affordable energy. With the current status of the technology and tourism vision, it is evident that Malaysia would be a benchmarking destination for many nations. Honorable Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk to the County Assembly for facilitating the delegation to attend the study tour to Malaysia, and further thank the members who attended and cooperated in compilation of this report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Deti. Honorable members, I want to propose the question so that you can discuss the reports. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this Honorable House discusses and approves the report of the Committee on Environment, Lands, Energy and Natural Resources on the study tour to Malaysia. Honorable members, the motion is open for debate. Honorable Museku, are you sure you want to say something?
Madam Speaker, I just standing, I'm Honorable Seko. I'm standing to, first of all, congratulate the Chair and his team for the report they have done for us on the trip to Malaysia and the observations they have made, which, when you look at them, if they are actually implemented in our county, we'll be able to get some learnings from the trip which they made in Malaysia. Mine would be to urge each and every sectoral committee which goes out of the country to come back quickly with reports like this and table them before the House so that the House and the county at large can be able to benefit from the trip which the honorable members are making in those specific countries. Looking at the recommendations that have come with I like them, like the issue of making sure we have a designated area where we can be able to showcase our products. Machakos, we have many things which we can be able to showcase. We are craftsmen. We make crafts from Wamonyo. We make very good honey. We are also manufacturing very good coffee here. So the things which are coming from our county, it would be good for them to be showcased somewhere and people can be able to come and see what they can be able to get from Machakos County. So I thank the team and I think it's a good report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Museku. Honorable Cosmas.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my name once again is Honorable Cosmas Masesi, Matungulu Ward MCA. Madam Speaker, I'm one of the members who are privileged to have the tour to Malaysia through Dubai. And Madam Speaker, just to thank the mind of the members.
Is it necessary to say that it was through Dubai? It depends on which airline you go by.
Madam Speaker, as the report says, Kuala Lumpur, Madam Speaker, is the capital city of Malaysia. And within some of the notable things, Madam Speaker, I noted within the town is that we have the Petronila's Twin Towers, Madam Speaker, amongst the town, which are 451 meters tall. Madam Speaker, one Malaysian ringgit is equivalent to Kenyan money, 24 shillings, 32 cents. Madam Speaker, I can assure the House, life there is very cheap, because by then, a liter of petrol was going at 54 shillings Kenyan money. Madam Speaker, the country has maximized a lot on solar power, whereby, Madam Speaker, the committee noted that, in fact, the country is producing more than enough power for the residents in terms of kilowatts. Madam Speaker, we noted that, again, the roads are very good. When you compare 2 hours, Madam Speaker, in fact, Madam Speaker, I think if you compare the cost of maintenance and the outputs, we need to look for a law, Madam Speaker, is allowed to travel the graders sold and we purchase new ones for the works to be done, Madam Speaker, across the sub-counties. Madam Speaker, the report is very well explained. We saw no traffic, Madam Speaker, at the roads. It was electronically managed. You just pay, you just you just pick the cards, Madam Speaker, and you are good to go. Madam Speaker, if you look at the population of Malaysia is 34 million. Madam Speaker, it's a small country but well managed. Madam Speaker, my urge to this county government is to try and borrow some of the recommendations, Madam Speaker, we have made. And Madam Speaker, I want to believe we promise that we will invite some of the companies to Machakos County. Only that, Madam Speaker, we would like to check with our clerk whether he wrote, because we had the clerk Mwaniki, we had promised to call some of the directors to Machakos County and give us some inputs on how we can develop as a county. Otherwise, it was good, and Madam Speaker, we enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is actually commendable that when you go out there, you see good things, and then you want them really to come, even if to start with Machakos County, because we can also be the pace setters for Kenya as a county. So the way Honorable Museku said, if you go out there, please bring the report as good as this one. Honorable Mweni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Bendeta Mweni Musyoka, nominated by Wiper. Me, I was lucky. I went to Singapore with the Ngunga.
We don't have Ngunga here.
Mheshimiwa Ngunga.
Honorable.
Honorable Ngunga and our chair for devolution. We went with the committee of devolution. Our report is on the way, but the place is so good. Ngunga took us to Malaysia. Mheshimiwa Ngunga took us to Malaysia, which, the way you have said, the transport there is very fast. We enjoy it. Mine is to ask Machakos County to clean the water which is in at the river, the way those people they do. Even they don't have much water like that one, but they circle the water. And their land is very small. Even notice like Machakos, I think it's like Ndidini huko, a village. Because even they fast down. It was so good. Even you went there. And the 8 hours from Dubai is...
I was not in the team.
You went alone, but you have seen. You have seen the way the place is good, and they take care of the old people. They build houses for them. You are not left at home. You just go to work, to the hotels. You are busy. And even when you educate your child, it's not a must to be helping you. You don't care about your mother or whatever. Everybody there is busy doing his work. The old women, they are there even, but the worst thing, they don't believe in God. they go to worship other things. Every morning you see them doing what I cannot say. So, Madam Speaker, I think this report is very okay. I ask Machakos, even you can take it to committee to give to the executive, Mheshimiwa committee to take it to executive so that they can do something. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mweni, thank you. What Honorable Mweni is saying in brief is that when you go out there, there are some very good things which you need to borrow and bring here, but there are also bad things which you don't borrow and leave there, right? Honorable Jeremiah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Jeremiah Munguti, a member of County Assembly representing the Deni Ward. Madam Speaker, when I look at this report, it is so good that the members who went to Malaysia, they really traversed Malaysia, and they have brought us very good conclusive report. One thing I'm very much interested is about the solar power, which they saw was working very good, because one thing, it is less expensive, because after they make the solar panels, they utilize the natural source of sun, and by so doing they provide energy. One thing, Madam Speaker, as Honorable Mweni was saying, we also went to Singapore, which neighbors Malaysia, and one thing I learned from that area is that they are so good in recycling materials, because all their solid wastes is recycled and is meant, they make some toys which are later sold to other countries, and also make revenue to their country. They also embrace the technology, which they make their own things. The young going school children, they usually do a lot of things through technology, and by so doing, they are making a lot of money by doing such technologies. Madam Speaker, it is also doable in Machakos County that we can utilize our spaces, because we understand, according to the observation of the committee, 90% of their buildings, they are just but skyscrapers, because they have no space, but they have utilized it well. We can as well utilize our space in Machakos County and also generate some revenues. Madam Speaker, when it comes to environment, I've learned that in Malaysia, through the report, they conserve their environment very well. And one thing I would like to request the chair for environment, because I'm a member, is that we ensure that we conserve our environment by planting trees, and also making sure that we tap all the rainwaters which are flowing to the Indian Ocean. By so doing, Madam Speaker, our county will be an evergreen town, and the environment will be embracing our people. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Jeremiah. Honorable Mulatia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Once again, my name is Honorable Tariq Mulatia, elected by the great people of Masinga Central. Mine is very brief, Madam Speaker. I think it's in order. Once, it's a good report. First, I support the report. But I think when we go out and get these kind of good reports, it's also good to go to their departments to know like how much budget is set aside for this kind of projects. To know that, because when you come here and tell us we tap the solar, we do this, maybe it's something which is not attainable in our budget. It's also good if we go there with all the invitations, we try to go to their departments where they do their allocations. At least when you are coming here, we come with something complete. Otherwise, I support the report. It's a very good report. Myself, I've been in the country and I know how it is. It's a very nice country. And I also wish Masinga to be like this. So, and I don't know how we'll make Masinga like this, especially Masinga Central, when we don't have their budget. At least we can make comparisons. So, chair of chairs, maybe when you're giving out this kind of foreign trips, it's also good to advise our chairs that they also look at the budget. Whatever they are going to visit, let them, like when we travel to Greece, I think Madam Speaker and Chair of Chairs and the majority and myself, we were there, and Deputy Majority. And when we went to all those companies, it was very clear how much they have spent. I remember Madam Speaker engaging one of the companies there. They were saying they have been using a lot of money. You remember when we
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
You were also in the team.
He has never been in Greece. I don't know what.
No, he doesn't have to have been in Greece, Honorable Mulatia. Honorable Cosmas, you want to inform the member?
Madam Speaker, I'm just informing the member on the issues to do with budgets. When he says when we have travels like these ones, Madam Speaker, what is written here is not rocket science. It's not that we don't do solar power in Kenya. Only that, Madam Speaker, it depends on the size of what we intend, of the size of the project.
So what you're saying is that the question of budget will depend on how large we want.
Precisely, Madam Speaker.
That's what you're saying. Honorable Mulatia?
That point of information is too shallow, Madam Speaker, comparing to what I'm presenting here. Madam Speaker, I was just saying.
Honorable Mulatia, that
yes,
is
madam.
Disrespect to the member.
Okay.
There's no member here who has a shallow brain.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize to my friend and my colleague, Honorable Masesi. But what I was trying to put across, Madam Speaker, is when you go there, you have seen the kind of project which is there. It's also good to tell us that projects, like when people come here and go in a very simple place here called Machakos People's Park, the place to be. It's always good to say this project costed this amount of money. At least when you're giving report, you won't say we are doing this one in Kenya, but in Kenya we can do a smaller budget. It's always good to have a complete budget. This was my argument. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Honorable Cosmas, thank you for your information.
All right. Honorable Motiso, yes, let's hear from you, then we can now finalize.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Peter Joseph Motiso, Machakos Central Ward. My concern is on page 6, Roman 1, whereby I thought in Kenya is where we have problems of forests being distracted by people. But now I've seen that in Borneo, they had the same problem that we're having here. For example, many of the people here know Mua. Mua had big forest sometimes back, even a Betty Hughes. You could not even go through this area at this time because there was a lot of frost, if we can say. No, the frost. No, there are frost. Yeah. Okay. So, I think Mheshimiwa, honorable member from Mua, that time, he had not lived to that place. He was maybe at that place down there. So he don't know anything about this. But I was born here and I know what was happening here. So it was a big forest at Mua and even a bit here. But now there is nothing. So if we can plant trees, it will be better for us and even for rains. Because the area now, it is pathetic situation. It's only that sometimes I and Mheshimiwa, Honorable Museku, and even Mheshimiwa Gunga, among others, we saved Katunga Forest, whereby most of the people were destroying that forest. Another concern is on page 11, Madam Speaker, whereby we have so many problems in Machakos. Like some departments, they are doing nothing. For example, Inspectorate, on you. The CC of that department, I think, is doing a lot of nothing, and I want to support my statement on that. You could see them chasing our people here, like orcas, while in our rivers and even along the roadsides, you see our young people scooping sand. Whereby, if we can leave that sand to file, we'll be able to get water and also to save our roads as well as our forest. So we need to caution those in department to work hard, and also members to deal with that, because some areas, they are not serious on their mandate. And I also request the chair of environment to take caution on that, because in some areas, like Machakos Girls, on that stream, if you go there, you could see a lot of sand, heaps of sand, which is being put there when you are going down there. And remember, the environment committee is here, so they can, if they can draw those areas, they will see what I'm talking about. Even at my place there, Kusumomo, that is what's happening now. So I thank people from Mwala, because I visited there sometimes a week ago, and there was a lot of sand, which is protected by the residents. By the way, you cannot joke with that sand. If you do that, they chase you, and even they ban the truck. So thank you, Madam Speaker. I rest my case.
Thank you, Honorable P.J. Mutiso. I call upon the mover of the motion to reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a member of this committee and as one of those who traveled, I would like to say that this was really an eye-opener. We learned a lot. We got a lot of exposure that as we go along, we should be able to sit down with our committee, with the executive, and see what can be implemented. 2013, 2017, I happened to be a director of the Investment Promotion Board in Machakos County. And I traveled to the same countries again with the board, and we got a lot of foreign investors wanting to come to Machakos. But the challenges we have as a county is the lack of water and lack of energy, electricity. I'm sure if we start sensitizing our children and our people to know how to conserve this water and recycle the water that we have, because that is what Malaysia is doing. They're even recycling like water from the kitchen, and they're being recycled to the level that you can drink it. If we learn to conserve our forest cover, that will help us in catching rain. If we learn to use the energy, the solar that God has given us, and invite investors who can come and put up big plants that can produce enough electricity that we can even be selling to our neighbor counties. I'm sure it is practical, it's doable. It's a matter of saying, yes, we can do it. The other observation that I learned, and I think we should really be very serious about, is the fact that the people are self-policed. There are very few policemen on the road, because everybody knows that the traffic lights traffic rules, sorry, and they follow. Cleanliness, you don't have to be followed not to throw garbage or litter anywhere you move. So it's those few things are things that can put in place through our educational system to ensure that we make Machakos the place to be. Members, Madam Speaker, I would like to thank you very much for taking your time, sitting with us, going through this report. Thank you very much. And I just wish that whatever we have put in place is going to be properly implemented. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Helen Deti. Honorable members, I now put the question that this Honorable House discusses and approves the report of the Committee on Environment, Lands, Energy and Natural Resources on the study tour to Malaysia. As many as are of the opinion say aye.
Ayes.
As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, this report, like all the other reports we have said, needs implementation. It's going to go back to the same committee because it's the same committee that can work towards implementation, of course, in liaison with the executive. So we'll be expecting some report on implementation of this particular report. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, you remember earlier on, I called out order number 6. Number 6. Yes, number 6. And Honorable Kamito was to give a notice of motion, and there was something he needed to do that. I can see Honorable Kamito here. I don't know whether he has done what he was supposed to do.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Through your directions, I have done so. I did the corrections.
Honorable Kamito, the notice of motion that was available to the House did not have your signature, so we wanted you to sign and then just come and give the notice. So I gave you that latitude. I gave you the permission to do it at this time. Can you proceed and do it? Have you signed? Do you have a signed set of it? Yes, it's here. So please proceed and give the notice of motion so that you can prosecute the business going forward.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for your guidance. I'm Alex Kamito, MC Talawad and lead of minority in this honorable house. Honorable Speaker, that aware that standing order number 18, sub 1, provides that the governor shall address a special sitting of the assembly once every year and may address the assembly at any time. Aware that His Excellency the Governor Dr. Alfred N. Mutua addressed the assembly on 18th February 2020, noting that the governor's address outlined the roadmap which the county government of Machakos should take to ensure the county realizes high economic growth. Aware that standing order number 20, sub 4 provides that whenever the governor delivers an address, a member may, as soon as practicable thereafter, lay the address on the table of the assembly following the reading of such address. Further, aware that standing order number 29, sub 5 requires that debate on the governor's speech should not exceed 4 sitting days. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give notice of the motion that pursuant to the provisions of standing order number 20, sub 5, the thanks of the assembly may be recorded for the expositions of public policy contained in the address of the governor during sitting of the assembly delivered on 18th February 2020. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minority Leader Alex Kamito. Honorable members, at that point, the House is adjourned and it's going to resume its sittings on the 25th day of February 2020 at 10 a.m. Have a good evening.